Welcome back to Dodger Baseball, and as you can probably tell from my voice, I'm currently a little sick. But you know I wasn't about to delay putting out the final weekly recap of the regular season. The Dodgers wrapped up the final regular season series with plenty of drama as the team now prepares for what's ahead. So we'll be taking a look at that, but let's begin with this week's games. The Dodgers began the week with a 4-game series against the Rockies, in which the first 2 games made up a doubleheader on Tuesday. The Dodgers split the series despite some great performances from our rookie pitchers. Then the team headed to San Francisco to play the Giants for the final regular season games. The Dodgers were able to win 2 of 3, ending the season with the team's 100th win. That'll make it 4 consecutive full seasons with 100 wins, which is an MLB record. But as we all know, they sadly don't give out rings for that. Looking at the pitching, you'll see what I was talking about with the rookie pitchers. Pepio, Miller, and Sheehan all shined in Colorado, a particularly impressive ballpark to do so in. Unfortunately, Ryan Yarbrough was not so lucky, giving up a whopping 9 runs in 4 innings on Thursday. So I guess now we know why he never starts games. Lance Lynn gave us another great start with only 2 runs in 6 innings. Then Clayton Kershaw took the mound on Saturday, giving up only 2 runs in 5.1 innings. But alas, the offense was completely asleep, so Kershaw tragically ended up with an L. Still, his ERA on the season is now 2.46, lower than his career ERA of 2.48. He also pitched more innings than any other Dodger starter and is the only man left standing from this season's original starting rotation. At this point, it really feels like he'd be crazy to retire, but I guess there's no point in worrying about that until the offseason. The Giants made sure to remind us why they're our ultimate rival, as they managed to injure 2 of our players in the final days of the regular season. On Friday, Miguel Rojas was hit by a pitch and had to leave the game after the Giants had successfully challenged his placement on the field. Whether or not it was intentional, I know it took all of Joe Kelly's strength not to throw at the Giants later in the game. But he definitely should have, because the Giants went ahead and hit Chris Taylor on the knee on Sunday, causing him to leave the game as well. Thankfully, it seems both Taylor and Rojas will be back in shape by the NLDS, so we can all forget about the Giants the way they forgot about Gabe Kapler. Which reminds me, we should all breathe a sigh of relief that the Dodgers chose to go with Roberts as manager instead of Kapler all those years ago. Leading the final clutch list of the regular season is Freddie Freeman, who gave us 8 hits this week, including 3 home runs.
Over the last 6 seasons. Cranks this ball, right center field. Blackmon on the move, it is gone! Freddie Freeman launches a 2-run home run. 2 runners aboard here, not his responsibility. Comes home to Freddie Freeman, who launches the first pitch, way up there and gone! An ambush from Freeman. Dodgers break it open on Freeman's 28th.
Those would be historic. That Freeman high in the air, right center field. This ball's going. This ball's way gone. Freddie, you can't stop at second when you hit the ball that far.
This week also saw Freddie tie the record for most doubles in a season at 59. Unfortunately, he couldn't quite get up to 60 with no hits in the final game. Let's just hope he's saving them for the postseason. James Outman also got 8 hits this week, with 7 of them coming in Colorado. I guess he enjoyed reminiscing on his first MLB at-bat, in which he got a home run at Coors Field. Kiké Hernandez gave us 7 hits this week, including 2 home runs.
On a 2-1 from Flexen, Hernandez crushes this ball in the air to left center field. Back goes Doyle, gone! Sky-scraping home run, Kiké Hernandez. 2 innings, 2 bombs, 3-1.
Now Hernandez gets into a ball. That one is way gone.
It's just nice to see him warming up as we head into the playoffs, where we can all pray his inner postseason dog comes out. With 6 hits this week, JD Martinez also gave us 2 home runs.
Shot the other way. Back it goes and gone!
18 games off the injured list. JD Martinez hammers the ball to left field. JD, gone! He adds to the RBI total.
In the process, he became the 4th Dodger to reach 100 RBI this season, tying a record for most players to do so. I'll also toss David Peralta on there, who gave us a solid 6 hits in 6 games this week, half of them doubles. And finally, I'm going to put Austin Barnes on the clutch list once again. This week saw him give us 3 hits in only 9 at-bats. Over his last 5 games, he's been batting .286, which is more than we can ask for from our backup catcher. On the list of concern, I'm definitely going to have to put Caleb Ferguson. This week saw his ERA go from a 2.47 to a 3.43. Unfortunately, he's proven many times this season that he's not a good pitcher to turn to in high-leverage situations. And unfortunately, we'll almost definitely be seeing him in the postseason because he's one of the few lefty pitchers on the team. So let's just hope we don't have to rely on him in the really intense moments. I also gotta put Ryan Yarbrough on there for his abysmal start this week, even if it was probably just a fluke. We're definitely going to need that guy to eat some innings going forward, so I'm hoping he's there when the moment calls for it. Then I'm going to softly put Will Smith on there, and it's a difficult one to include. The guy has been through so much this season, including a concussion and a broken rib, the latter of which he quietly played through because he's a tough guy. But it has definitely had an effect on his bat, as he's finishing the season with an OPS under 800, the lowest in his career. I still think he's going to be a huge asset to the team, but I wouldn't mind seeing Roberts move him down a little in the lineup. Having him bat 4th or 5th in the postseason would probably be a smart move, but I'll leave the managing to Doc. Speaking of the postseason, let's take a look at what's ahead. This week we'll see the Diamondbacks and the Brewers face each other in the Wild Card Series. The winner of that will be who the Dodgers have to face in the NLDS. Every team is scary in the playoffs, so I don't really know who I would prefer to face. If it's the Diamondbacks, we're looking at powerful bats with speedy runners. If it's the Brewers, we're looking at rock-solid pitching. But for now, all we can do is wait and see. There are a few guys that I'm hoping will show up in the postseason. Chief among them is JD Martinez, who has an insane .303 batting average in 30 postseason games, with an OPS close to 1,000. Without him, the entire offense takes a huge hit. Freddie Freeman is a similar case, batting .296 in 46 postseason games with a .947 OPS. He was also our hottest hitter in last year's short postseason, and we definitely need that to continue. Last year saw Mookie Betts bat .143 in the playoffs, which is simply horrible, especially from a guy like him. But he has a career .264 batting average in the postseason over a plentiful 55 games, which is definitely better, albeit not as impressive as Freddie and JD. Then there's Chris Taylor, one of our most clutch postseason players, who is batting .250 in an impressive 64 postseason games. So at the very least, we can hope he keeps some consistency. And of course, we have Kiké Hernandez, who is batting .269 with a 900 OPS in a whopping 69 postseason games. His most recent trip to the playoffs in 2021 saw him batting .408 for the Red Sox. So as long as he's still the playoff god we know and love, he should be an incredibly important part of the offense. As for the pitching, we have a ton of variables at play. Clayton Kershaw gets a lot of shit for his postseason record, but a .422 ERA in almost 200 innings really isn't that bad. He's definitely carrying the pitching staff this year, but he's been doing that almost every year, so he's used to that part. Lance Lynn has a worrying 5.28 ERA in 58 postseason innings, so when it comes to him, there's not really much we can do but pray. It should be noted that he's only pitched 8 postseason innings since 2015, so maybe we'll see a new man this time around. Ryan Yarbrough has a clean 3.06 ERA in the playoffs, although a 17-inning sample size is relatively small. And unfortunately, all of our other starters are rookies with no postseason experience to reference. But hey, maybe that'll just make them want to prove themselves even more. And as for the bullpen, after last year, let's just hope for the best. Anyways, I'm sure I've gone on long enough. There's only so much speculation we can do about the playoffs before we just have to embrace them. I'll be doing some more recaps throughout the postseason, so you haven't quite seen the last of me yet. For now, let's enjoy the Wild Card Series, and I'll see you guys soon.